I am not at the point yet where I'm like, we should be scared for TNA. I'm not like completely scared yet, but I am a little bit concerned about the health of the company going forward because of the news that got reported in Meltzer's newsletter that has yet to be refuted. And that's what I want to say. Like, I'm not saying that I completely look, Dave Meltzer doesn't lie in his newsletter, by the way, guys. And I know some of you guys are going to respond to this clip when I clip it, or you're going to send me a DM. He's not lying when he's saying this. He's absolutely getting this information from somebody within the company. That is absolutely happening. But he doesn't have the complete story. And you typically get the complete story. Like Meltzer has his sources, right? And they're kind of leaning one way. And then Mike Johnson will have his sources, and Sean Ross Sapp will have his sources leaning another way. The problem is with this story specifically that we're about to get into, the Lou D'Angeli getting fired and R.D. Evans and all that stuff, I think that R.D. Evans was probably that other side. Not R.D., I'm sorry, Lou D'Angeli. I'm thinking Lou D'Angeli, at least people close to him, was that other side that was kind of like kind of giving you more of a clearer picture of what exactly is happening with TNA. So let's go do the share screen here. You guys can read the Observer with me. So he starts off the TNA section, okay? Now, TNA, this is kind of a roundup of news, so he doesn't really go in-depth or too hard-hitting on it, but he said there's obviously a lot of concern as talent hasn't been told much, and the timing combination of working with WWE as a secret and key people being gone will cause that. One person close to the situation, so this is not like a thoroughly vetted scoop, right? You typically want 2 or 3 people, like not even on the record, but you want 2 or 3 people to get a wide variety, to get a clearer picture. So we're going single sourcing on this one. Said one person close to the situation noted that talent was really concerned with R.D. Evans leaving. For a long time, the heads of creative were Jimmy Jacobs, Scott D'Amore, and R.D. Evans, with Tommy Dreamer having a hand in things as well. Right now, it's Dreamer, and we've seen Tommy Dreamer's fingerprints all over it, especially if you watched Rebellion. That was very much like an ECW ripoff type of show. Right now it's Dreamer. Longtime Ring of Honor head Hunter Johnson. Hunter Johnson has no creativity in his brain whatsoever. And then Jorge Barbosa, or George Barbosa, I think it goes by George. And now George is kind of the outlier here because he's never been a wrestling booker. He said Barbosa, who is a very creative documentary maker, but hasn't had much experience booking episodic. Hold on, who hasn't been episodic television or pro wrestling. So I don't see that as a knock on him, by the way. I think that's a good thing. I think we need some outside the box thinkers. And I like the documentaries that he's been making. I like the different ways he's been shooting some of the stuff that they do backstage. I think that's a good thing. So anybody that thinks that Barbosa being on the creative team is a bad thing, I think let's take a wait and see approach. Just because he doesn't have the experience, that doesn't mean he doesn't have good ideas. And he is very much a wrestling guy. He's done a ton of documentaries for Anthem for a very long time that have involved MMA and pro wrestling, and he's done great. David Sahadi, who had been in charge of production, was another person let go. He was a creative director and the TV show director, which is what I was telling you guys last week, since very early in the promotion's history after earlier working for WWE. Lou D'Angeli, who was the vice president of marketing for Anthem Sports, was also let go. He was a person in charge of booking arenas and promoting the shows. Lily Ariano, or Arenalo, sorry, his assistant was also let go. So now it's a one-person department with only Greg Bargozzi, or Bagarozzi, whatever the hell his name is. I think that guy's an old ECW guy too. So here is where things get a little bit hairy. He said Anthem had talked of doing permanent tapings going live every Thursday night at Full Sail University. And one person, so again, single source, one person close to the situation said that with D'Angeli out of the picture, that Full Sail has no interest in working with them. Although another source says there's still a glimmer of hope of keeping the deal. But D'Angeli was the point guy. So this part right here, and I'm going to zoom in on it. And that way we can kind of focus in on this. I feel like I'm a teacher right now. So right here, this is what people are focusing in on in the aggregation and all that stuff, saying Anthem had talked of doing permanent tapings going live every Thursday night at Full Sail University. One person close to the situation said that D'Angelo was out of the picture and that Full Sail has no interest in working with them. So that's the story that's being regurgitated out there. That's exactly what's happening. That's the truth. But he countered that with another source saying that there is a glimmer of hope keeping the deal alive. But the only thing that has been getting aggregated is Full Sail has no interest in working with them. So that's the TNA LOL thing that's been going around recently. That's what people are focusing in on. And not the second half of that there's still a glimmer of hope. So I think this Full Sail thing, according to Meltzer, this is what people are not reporting. The story isn't, despite losing Lou D'Angelo, TNA still has a shot at landing the Full Sail University deal. That is not the story. That's not the one that the aggregators are wanting you to hear. They want you to hear that TNA blew the deal by losing or by getting rid of Lou D'Angelo, which at this point is not the case. We're not there yet. It is a possibility. It was also possible that they would not have gotten that deal even with Lou D'Angelo. But I think that them going to Full Sail is, and I don't know that going live is really exactly where they need to go. I don't know if that's good or not. Like I don't see the reason for them to go live every single week. Maybe once a month, but I think them doing tapings from Full Sail is the way to go. And I've been saying it. I know BQ's been saying it. They should, go live once a month for their pay-per-views, whether it be a TNA Plus special or whether it be an actual pay-per-view, a quarterly pay-per-view. And then that following Thursday, go live, do a double taping, go live, and then tape again on Friday night. And then you got a month. So that way you're banking a month's worth of shows, and then you're going live once a month. I think that's the way to go. But there are advantages in going live every week. It's more exciting. You can pivot easier. Because, and we'll get into the next thing here pretty quick. But so, them losing out on this Full Sail thing would stink, I think, because I think that's the glimmer of hope that people have, is that they're going to go live every week. But they just haven't secured the deal. And I honestly, like, at this point, with how chaotic it's been, firing Scott D'Amore, firing Lou D'Angelo, firing Dave Sahadi, I think it's going to be tough to build confidence in a new partner. And Full Sail University would very much be a new partner. And I don't think that Anthem leadership right now they're going to have a hard time instilling confidence that they are going to be a sustainable partner for Full Sail and for like another television network, should that ever come up. Like they have not been able to prove that, at least right now, since they fired Scott D'Amore, they're not able to prove that they are a partner that people can trust. Why would you get rid of Lou D'Angelo whenever the ticket sale numbers were up? Why? They don't really have like a very good reason. And I know Mike Johnson reported I think it was earlier this week. I think it was like on Monday, come out. And you got to remember, Mike Johnson ran the ECW website and is a hardcore ECW fan and is very plugged in with those old ECW guys. So if you don't think him and Lou are talking, you're silly. He's very much, the reporting that he's getting on Lou D'Angelo very coming from Lou D'Angelo himself or somebody close to him. So, but it said that people were frustrated with, some of the scheduling and things like that. People not knowing the schedule ahead of time, and him not having answers for the bosses and not having answers for the wrestlers. Do they think it's going to get better going forward without him? I don't see that. I don't think that that's going to happen unless they have somebody to take that position that is more qualified, that is better. But right now, it doesn't look like they got anybody lined up to take that position. At least it's not being reported so. And you guys got to remember, Anthem people don't talk to the dirt sheets. They don't. They very much don't care about the dirt sheets. They stay away from all the dirt sheet stuff. So they're like I get the feeling like Mike Johnson and Dave Meltzer, they don't have Anthony Ciccone's phone number. They don't have Ariel Schneer's phone number, right? They had access. I think they had access to Ed Nordholm because Ed Nordholm would do their podcast in the early days. But these guys are not plugged in with the journalists. They're just like above it. They don't care about any of that stuff. They're just like, about business.